Yeah. Hi. I'm here to see the governor. You his secretary? No, I don't have an appointment. But, well, I know Mr. Pilot's a busy man. I mean, he's the governor. But look, it's really important. What? Oh, my name? It's Barabbas. Barabbas. B is in Bethlehem. A is in the amphitheater. Yeah. Barry's fine. That's okay. So anyway, I want to report a crime. This guy, he stole something. What? My occupation? I'm a thief. Well, that's not really the point. I mean, this guy stole something from me and I want it back. What? Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing. Just between you and me, he stole my death. No, not my desk, my death. Death. D is in David, E is in Ezekiel. Yeah, death. Why would I want that back? Well, that's a bit of a story. I mean, you want to hear it? All right. Well, look, you might not know this from looking at me, but I got a lot of problems. I mean, it's daddy issues mostly. I mean, my father, rest his soul, he was a pretty famous rabbi. I mean, he was big. I mean, Caiaphas had nothing on this guy, you know, and his congregation, they loved him. I remember when I was a kid, you know, I'd listen to him teach, and you could just feel the love and adoration coming at them. And I thought, that's what I want. I want to be loved and adored like that too. So when I was 10, I went up to him and I said, Dad, I want to be a famous rabbi just like you. And he kind of laughed and said, son, that's not going to work. I was like, why? He said, because you're stupid. So that didn't happen. So I was thinking, what else could I do to be famous? And I think, well, why not be an actor, right? So, sing news of the age of Achilles. No. This was no boating accident.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, I know. It didn't work out too well either. I mean, nothing worked. I mean, the only thing I was good at was stealing. And I had moves. I'd see a guy with a big fat purse on his belt there, walk up, and it's like, dude, it's Caesar. What, where? Yeah, I know, it was a living. Okay, but I wanted more, Like I said, I wanted fame, I wanted love, I wanted crowds of people cheering my name, Barabbas, 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 or Barry, Barry, Barry. But I didn't know how to get it. And then one day this guy showed me how. He was a recruiter for the Sakari. There's a kind of a Jewish revolutionary group. And he came up to me and he said, Barry, Bubala, this thieving, it's not getting you anywhere. You want to be famed? You want to be adored? Join us. You see, he wanted me to make me a soldier in the fight against Rome. And why not? I mean, we hated you guys. And not you personally. I mean, you seem like a nice guy. But, in general. And, I thought, well, why not strike a blow against the oppressors? I mean, then I'd be a hero, wouldn't I? My first victim, he was a young Roman soldier. I mean, just a kid, really. He was 16, 17. And I found him taking a leak against the tavern. Now, he was drunk out of his skull. He didn't notice me coming up to him. He didn't notice anything till I put the knife to his throat. His life just poured out on my hands, warm and sticky. And he looked at me with this weird look like, why? What did I ever do to you? And I smiled and I said, what'd you ever do for me? So that's how I found another thing that I was good at. I killed 20, 25 people. You know, it got to be an addiction, you know. Now, the Sicarii, they tell you, you know, you got to do it quick. You know, go in, whack the guy, get out. Not me. I liked hanging around. See, I liked looking them in the eye just as they were dying, knowing that I was the last thing they were going to see in their miserable lives. Yeah, that was cool. And it was also how I got caught. You know, I was hanging around a little too long with my last victim. Boom! Get hit on the head by a centurion. Boom! I wake up in prison. Now, you might not know this, but there is nothing more depressing in the world than to be in a cell full of people all waiting to be crucified. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going to get nailed to the cross. That's going to hurt. Well, boo frickin' who? I wasn't afraid to die. This is what my life had been leading up to. You know, I was going to go out there and I'd spit on the Romans and I'd curse on them and they'd nail me up and I'd go out like a hero. And it all would have worked out. Except for a certain person. Morning I was going to be executed. They brought me out to this courtyard. There was hundreds of people there. And Governor Pilate, you know, he was talking and he was saying, look, because it's Passover, I can spare one prisoner. I can pardon. And it's between me and another guy. And I'm standing kind of back, so I don't really get a good look at the other guy. And I'm like, well, to my guard, I said, well, so who is he? And the guard is like, he's just some carpenter. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, what are they crucifying him for? Putting in bad crown molding? You know, and I'm thinking, well, this is an obvious choice. You know, here you got the bloody, ruthless killer, and on the other side, you got the guy who works with wood. All right, so it's easy, right? And then see that the governor, he asks, who do you want spared? And immediately a guy in the back raises his hand, and he goes, Barabbas. And another guy stands up, and Barabbas. Before I know it, there's this chant going, Barabbas, Barabbas, Barabbas. And my heart just filled up. They loved me. I'd arrived. I was famous. I was adored. I was wrong. Because it didn't take me more than a minute to realize they weren't picking me because they loved me. They were picking me because they hated the other guy. You know, this carpenter, this nobody from Nazareth. I was so mad. I was ready to jump out and just kill them all. I broke away from my guards. I turned, and then I got a look at him. The carpenter. They had really worked him over. I mean, he was bloody. His face was bruised. He could barely open his eyes. But he managed to. And he looked right at me. And it was like for a minute, I could hear what he was saying. It's all right, he said. They might not love you, but I do. That was the one and only time I ever saw him. You know, later that day, they took him and crucified him on the cross that was left for me. And if I had any guts, I would have gone with him. You know, I'd have thanked the guy. Well, no, I just ran. And when I worked up a little courage, I started to make inquiries. I mean, who was this guy? What was he doing? He's Jesus, son of Joseph, a woman told me. He's the one they call the Christ. No, not the Cripes, the Christ. Christ. C is in Christmas, H is in Hallelujah. Yeah, R-I-S-T. The Anointed One, the Son of God, the Forgiver of sins. Brings us back to our situation, right? Because you see, I didn't ask him for him to take my place. I didn't want him to die. I was going to die. It was supposed to be my death, and he stole it. So what are you guys going to do about it? Now, don't look at me like I'm crazy. I want to know what you're going to do about it. You're the Romans, right? I mean, you rule the world. You got all the power. You can do anything. Well, I want justice. I want my death back. How am I supposed to live without my death? Oh, yeah? Well, yeah, that's kind of what I thought you were going to say. So, look, you know what? I got to tell you something. I really didn't come here thinking that I was going to get justice. So I was going to come here so I could friggin' kill somebody. Anybody. You'll do. Oh, no. Don't try and get away. You won't make it. See, I'm good at this, remember? I'm fast. I'm sharp. And I can't do this. There's something I left out. When I was looking at that carpenter, he said something else to me. I didn't understand it at the time, but I do now. 2 words. 2 simple words. Follow me. I guess that means, as much as I hate you, I got to try to love you as much as he loved me, as much as he loves all of us. How about a hug? Nah, just kidding. I'm just messing. No. I've taken up enough of your time. If you could just tell the governor that I was here, you might want to remind him there's going to be a performance of Jesus Christ Superstar on the April 15th, 16th, and 17th. You know, I hear he's been broken up about this carpenter business as well. So you just tell him if he needs to talk to anybody, he can come see me.